Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Winter Bulk Day 29. Now, as you know, I'm still running through Deload. This is a GST pull slash overhead press day, so that's why you're seeing the overhead press core lift right off the bat. Now, just a refresher, 50% 1 rep max, 3 by 10 reps. So these are sets that I'm guaranteed to get my reps on. I'm not going to be hitting failure on these. Deloading is a perfect time for just focusing in on great form, improving mind-muscle connection, and really letting your body recover, because you earned that right to let it recover through those previous really tough training sessions. So I've got, 75 pounds on the bar. My overhead press is just not that amazing. It never has been. So I set my 1 rep max right now at 150, and that's where that 75 pounds comes from. It's 50% 1 rep max, sets of 10. And maybe sometimes I go like 11 or 12, maybe even a little more. Deloads don't have to be this precise process. Basically you're just making sure to stay active, stay in the gym, keep your schedule, stay consistent, move weight, but weight that definitely doesn't stress you heavily and definitely just pumps blood to the desired working areas and allows you to recover through the process. So I think right there when I mentioned, the mental side of things, like staying inside the gym mentally during a deload week, I think that's really important. That's one of the main benefits of my deloading method, which isn't just taking time off from the gym, because there are some deload methods out there that they just want you to leave the gym. You might not see the gym for 1 or 2 weeks. I'm really not a fan of that. I'm a fan of getting momentum, building momentum, and keeping it going, staying consistent. Certain people, they don't like the gym as much as other people. For me, I love it, so it's a priority. I'm going to get there whatever is going on in my life. I'm going to get there. But there's people that if they get that train rolling and they end up taking a week off or 2 weeks off for a deload, they might not come back. And that's just the cold hard truth. I've seen it happen. It happens. It's real. So I take that into account and I make sure that you stay in the gym when you deload. Again, I think it's important. It's consistency. It's the mental benefit of just knowing that you went in and did some work. It's not 100% intensity, not your usual intensity level, but it's work. It's still great. It still benefits you in several ways. So remember, this is a GST pull slash overhead press day. So this is my pull core lift. I've been doing chin-ups. Now I got to make these light because 50% 1 rep max, right? So I've got to make these light. So I'm using the thick Elite FTS orange band here. This is wrapped around one knee. I think coming up you're going to see a full body clip, and you'll see that it's wrapped around one knee. So these are not difficult. I'm just using full range of motion, getting that straight arm position at the bottom, the pause, driving up, easily clearing the bar. The bar is getting close to my upper chest, which is something that I generally shoot for all the time, whether or not I'm doing full intensity or deload intensity. I like to get that full range of motion. I think it's great. So coming up here, you're going to see that full body clip. So I just wrap the band around one knee. I do this. Obviously, it's easier to set up when you're alone. You can't really get both knees in there when you're alone. And one thing I also like to do is, since I am doing one knee and I like to keep things balanced, I will actually rotate left and right, whichever, my left knee and my right knee, based on the set that I'm doing. So set 1, I'll go right. Set 2, I'll go left. And then set 3, I'll just go whatever I feel like. Obviously, it's an odd number of sets, so I can't get the 2 on the right and 2 on the left. But that's just like a little tiny insider tip, just something that I like to do just to even things out, because the band does pull you a little bit in one direction when you have it on one knee. It's not a huge deal, but if you're using a lot of help, like this thick orange band, you're going to notice that more than if you're using less help, say with like the Elite FTS red band or the green band. Okay, so I knocked those out 3 by 10. no problems. And that's going to be the theme, you know, throughout this day, is just no problems, because I'm using weights that I can totally handle. Now, once I get past the core lifts, all right, the set rep protocol, it changes. So now I'm at supplement lift number 1. I've got the 15-degree incline close grip bench press here. And now we switch to 3 sets by 20 reps. So this is high repping. This is generating a pump, pushing blood into the working muscles, trying to get a burn as well, because that's going to improve my ability to know what muscles I'm working, and that's going to improve my ability to build my mind-muscle connection, because the burn is actually pinpointing exactly where I should be thinking about, and I can build my mind-muscle connection better by having that illustration. All right, so how much weight to use here? The protocol is 3 by 20, and you use roughly half of your medium rep or 10 rep weights. So that's simple with GST, because one of the main supplement lift rep schemes is 3 by 10. So all I have to do, I just have to look back at my last 3 by 10 week, and I have to cut that weight in half, and I have to double my reps. So what you're going to notice, if you're mathematically inclined, is you're going to notice right away, without me even mentioning this, you're going to keep the same volume, because you're cutting your normal weight in half, which would half your volume, but then you're doubling your normal reps, which volume matches. It brings the volume back up to where it is during your normal 10 rep training sessions. So these are just nice and light. Very controlled, very smooth. I'm dialing in the right spots here. Upper chest, front delts, some triceps, and I'm volume matching. Like I said, I'm not missing out on any volume here, but I am definitely stressing my body less, and that's just hugely important. That's why this is deload week, and that's exactly why I've designed my deload protocol in the way that it's designed. So here we have flat bench dumbbell rows. Again, I'm taking my medium rep weight, my 10 rep weight, and that's just from the previous week, and I'm cutting it in half, and I'm doubling reps. So I know these are long sets, 20 rep sets. You know, these sets last a while, especially for unilateral work. Like, this is a unilateral upper body work where I got to do all the reps on the right, then I got to take a little breather, pause, reset, do all the reps on the left. So with these dumbbell rows, you have to think about pulling up and back with these. We're doing these for the lats, the muscles of the mid-back. We are not doing this for upper back work. So if I was doing this for upper back work, you would see my elbow shoot straight out as the weight comes up, like straight out from my torso. So more like if you were looking at me from the top down, it would look more like a T. But what you're seeing here is I'm trying to avoid the rear delts and the traps and the muscles of the upper back, and I'm trying to hit the lats and the rhomboids, the muscles of the more mid-back area. And I can do that by pulling up, keeping my elbow close to my side, and pulling my elbow back. Because naturally, just if you keep your elbow close to your side and you pull your arm back, you know, your elbow goes back. It goes back towards your back pocket, right? If you're sitting in your chair or something like that right now, you can just do that. Just act like you're doing a seated row. Keep your elbow close to your torso and see where it ends up when you pull back. It's back by your back pocket. Now, if you were fanning your elbow out, your elbow would be much higher, and the focus would be on the rear delts and the traps, not the lats and the rhomboids. So here's going to be a little bit of a better angle to see just where that elbow goes up and back. All right, so let's get into this next set here. You want to make sure you're positioned, make sure you're all balanced, braced, and everything like that. Use that foot that's on the floor for bracing and balance. It's a nice platform. And I really like to do these on the bench just because it makes me feel more stable. I had somebody ask, you know, why are you using the bench? Why don't you just put 2 feet on the ground and one hand on the bench? So it's more like a bent barbell row position where you're standing. Honestly, I just think this is more stable. It allows me to think about the row motion and having to stabilize myself with my own muscle groups less. I let the bench do most of the stabilizing here. And yeah, you noticed that dumbbell, that's the thing with power blocks. They have a couple of right angles on them that stick out, and it's an extra large sweatshirt, so that front pocket was hanging kind of low, and it was kind of annoying. The dumbbell caught on it a few times, but whatever, what can you do? I like my dumbbells, I like my power blocks. They take up no space, and I've got the 5 through 125 pound extension kit on there. I can't really ask for much more. Some people think they look weird or they feel weird. The look doesn't really matter, and the feel, I think they feel like normal dumbbells. So I like them. I've gotten used to them. I've had this set for coming up on 15 years, believe it or not, and they still perform just like they did when they were new. That's all I have to say about those power blocks. They're nice, and I recommend them. So here you can see, if you look in the mirror, and then you can see my actual body too, where my torso, or where my elbow breaks the plane of my torso there. It's up and back, and the dumbbell especially, the dumbbell is actually ending up like at my waist, in line with my back leg, and that's happening because I am pulling back so far. I'm actually creating like a quarter circle dumbbell path. I'm arcing it forward and then back, and then forward and then back. All right, so this next one, you know what? This is hilarious. I got to apologize for the angle. Like, I thought the camera was going to be higher, and I thought maybe you'd see the top of my knees a little bit, but obviously you're seeing more. But just do your best, focus on the arms here. Trust me, I understand. It's a shitty angle. But the arms, especially if you look in the mirror, what I want to talk about today on these cable spider curls is that you're going to notice my elbows moving very little, like back and forth. They're pretty much set in stone, and I'm just moving the weight around my elbow joints, and my biceps are getting isolated because of that. And that's exactly what I want you to do if you try out this exercise. So this is a cable spider curl. And another thing that I want to mention here, and I think the next angle is going to show it a little bit better. Now, I could be pulling this handle down towards my chest or my chin or my nose. If I did that, my elbows would have to push forward a little bit. But I'm keeping them back, and you can see that I'm pulling the attachment actually back behind my head. So what that's allowing me to do is it's taking any back out of the motion, any teres muscles out of the motion. It's giving me a little extra range of motion because I'm not running the bar into my forehead. I'm able to go past it further down towards the floor. And since my elbows are far back, almost in line with my chin, that's just really isolating the biceps. It's not allowing me to use other outside muscle groups at all. So this is just true bicep isolation, and I really like this one. I saw this one on somebody else's vlog. I can't remember, some guy from Europe, I believe. It was just a vlog that popped up in my suggested videos. I started watching it, and I really like it. Sometimes you just get sick of barbell curls and dumbbell hammer curls, so you got to switch it up. This one has really allowed me to do that, and I've turned into a big fan of it. All right, so we got 2 more exercises coming up here. We've got seated lateral flies. Now, generally I've been doing these standing, and I've actually been doing these one arm at a time lately. But like I said, deload week, you kind of do some things that you just feel like doing maybe off plan a little bit. It's not as important that you stick perfectly to things. And I just went with the seated lateral flies here. Now, these ended up being a little bit heavy for me for a deload week. You can see I'm kind of using a little bit of momentum here, but I just ended up sticking with it. It's a shoulder medial delt isolation. It's not this big compound move that's going to burn me down. They weren't super hard, and it's almost impossible to have zero momentum here, and I don't even worry about it. I don't even view it like these are bad reps because I'm rocking a little bit. I'm just getting tons of feeling in the medial delt here. I am trying to keep my pinkies pointed up, and you know, I'm just feeling those medial delts, and I was happy with it. So I did a couple sets of these, you know, 2 sets of 20 reps, and yeah, they were great. I might keep these in the program, but I do really like the single arm variation that I'm doing. It's like a standing, slightly bent over single arm variation. It really allows me to focus in on each medial delt separately. But these were good. So here you can see, you know, I do start to burn down a little bit. And like I said, it's not a big deal. I'm not stressing about it. I'm just getting the pump in the shoulders, making sure that I finish this day up and do all my exercises. So it's like 7 exercises today. It's standing overhead press, chin-ups, 15-degree close grip bench press, flat bench dumbbell rows, spider curls. I got these flies in here, and then one more tricep press down. So I just did 1 set of the tricep press downs, and you're going to see that right here. And then after this set, that's it. And yeah, after the set, I'm going to be taking off here. So, you know, I just want to say thanks for watching this vlog. If you have a comment on any of the exercises or a question about how to put together your pull day, just comment, you know, ask me. I'm all about answering your questions. I'm here to help you. I'm here to show you what I'm doing. You can follow what I'm doing, or you can do your own thing. Either way. So tricep press downs. This is nice and simple. Just keeping it light. Again, 50% of my medium rep weight, knocking out like 20 reps, just finishing up the day with a really nice tricep pump. And I said something at the end here, and I have no idea why I said it.
Fuck me.
That's it. I gotta go. Bye-bye.